The door slammed shut with a thunderous crack, echoing through the quiet suburban street like a gunshot in the night. "Get out, you filthy queer. You're no father of mine," my own dad bellowed, his face twisted in rage as he hurled my suitcase onto the lawn. I stood there, frozen, the weight of 20 years of hidden shame crashing down, knowing I'd just lost my home, my family, and the little boy who looked up at me with confused eyes. My son, Gabriel. That fateful night in 2005, in the heart of Elmwood, Ohio, a sleepy Midwestern town where church steeples pierced the sky and Friday night football games were sacred, I was outed. It started with a whisper, a rumor sparked by a nosy neighbor spotting me with my secret lover, Diego, in a dimly lit bar on the outskirts. Diego wasn't just any man. He was the one who made my heart race, the Mexican-American mechanic with calloused hands and a smile that could melt steel. We'd met at the auto shop where I worked as a manager, our stolen glances turning into clandestine meetings under the cover of night. But in Elmwood, love like ours was a sin, a threat to the fragile facade of normalcy. My name is Marcus Rivera, but back then, everyone called me Mark to blend in. I was 32, married once to appease my conservative parents. But that union crumbled when I couldn't deny who I was anymore. Gabriel was 5, born from that brief, unhappy marriage to Sarah, who left us when he was 2, chasing dreams in California. I raised him alone, or as alone as one could be in a town that watched your every move. When the truth exploded, thanks to a vindictive coworker who saw us kissing in Diego's truck, it spread like wildfire. Church sermons condemned me, school moms whispered about protecting their kids, and my father, a retired factory worker with a Bible in one hand and a beer in the other, disowned me on the spot. "You think you can raise a boy like that? You'll turn him into one of you," he spat, shoving me toward the door. Gabriel clung to my leg, tears streaming down his chubby cheeks. "Daddy, don't go," he wailed. I knelt, hugging him tight, whispering promises I'd come back. But as the neighbor's lights flicked on, curious eyes peering from curtains, I knew I had to leave or face worse, maybe violence from the town's self-appointed moral guardians. Diego was waiting in his beat-up Chevy at the end of the block. "Mark, mi amor, we'll figure this out," he said, his voice steady despite the fear in his dark eyes. We drove off into the night, heading west toward Chicago, where anonymity might shield us. But leaving Gabriel behind haunted me. My ex-wife's family swooped in, claiming custody with the help of a judge who saw my lifestyle as unfit. Appeals drained my savings, but in the end, the system sided with blood relatives over a deviant father. In Chicago, Diego and I built a new life. He found work fixing cars in a garage owned by a sympathetic boss, and I took a job as a barista, eventually climbing to manage a coffee chain. Our apartment in Boys Town became a sanctuary, vibrant streets alive with pride flags, where we could hold hands without fear. But the ache for Gabriel never faded. I'd send letters, birthday cards, but they came back unopened, stamped, returned to sender. Diego held me through the nights I sobbed, his strong arms a reminder that love could heal, even if slowly. Years blurred into a routine of quiet domesticity. Diego proposed on our 10th anniversary, under the fireworks of Navy Pier, and we married when it became legal in 2015. "We've waited long enough," he said, slipping a simple band on my finger. Our friends, a ragtag family of fellow outcasts, cheered. But Gabriel's absence was a shadow. I'd search online occasionally, finding scraps. A high school graduation photo from Elmwood High, where he looked so much like me. Curly black hair, piercing green eyes. Then, in 2025, the news hit like a bolt. Scrolling through my feed, I saw it. Elmwood elects youngest mayor in history. Gabriel Rivera wins in landslide. My heart stopped. There he was, 25 now, waving from a podium, the town hall behind him. The article detailed his campaign, promises of inclusivity, economic revival, and stunningly LGBTQ+ rights. "It's time Elmwood embraces everyone," he said in a quote. Diego found me staring at the screen, tears flowing. He's come back, Mark. And he's fighting for what we couldn't. The decision to return wasn't easy. What if he hates me? I fretted. Diego squeezed my hand. He wouldn't be doing this if he did. We packed the car, driving the familiar route back to Ohio. Autumn leaves swirling like memories. Elmwood looked the same. Main Street with its diners and hardware stores, but felt different. Pride flags fluttered in a few windows, a sign of change. We arrived on election night, the town square buzzing with celebration. Gabriel's speech echoed over speakers. "This victory is for the outcasts, the ones chased away. For my father, wherever he is." My breath caught. Pushing through the crowd, I called out, "Gabriel!" He turned, eyes widening in recognition. Time froze as he stepped down, enveloping me in a hug. "Dad," he whispered, voice breaking. That embrace was 20 years in the making. Diego stood nearby, smiling through tears. But as cheers erupted, I sensed undercurrents, old grudges simmering. My father, now frail in a nursing home, had endorsed Gabriel's opponent. And whispers followed, "The queer dad's back." The real storm was brewing. Gabriel pulled us aside to a quiet bench. "I never forgot you, Dad. Grandma told me lies at first, but I found your letters hidden away." I knew the truth. His story unfolded. Raised by Sarah's parents, he rebelled in his teens, coming out as bisexual himself. "It was your story that inspired me. I ran for mayor to change this town, to make it safe for people like us." Diego and I stayed at a motel, but Gabriel insisted we move into his campaign house. Reconnecting was bittersweet. We'd share dinners, Diego's famous enchiladas warming the kitchen, laughing over old photos. But tension mounted. A local businessman, Harlan Tate, who lost the election, started a smear campaign. Rivera's soft on morals, his dad's a pervert. Flyers appeared, dredging up my past. One night, Gabriel confessed, "Harlan was my mentor once. He helped me through college." Betrayal stung. Harlan had known Gabriel's platform but turned when it threatened his conservative empire. He offered me a deal, drop the LGBTQ initiatives, or he'd expose family secrets. Gabriel refused, but the attacks escalated. Vandalism at the town hall, threats online. Diego and I offered support, but I felt guilty. "This is my fault," I said. Gabriel shook his head. "No, Dad. This is their fear. We'll fight it together." As winter approached, the climax hit. At a town council meeting, Harlan rallied opponents, shouting slurs from the past. "We don't want Elmwood turning into Sodom." The room divided, shouts echoing. Gabriel stood tall. My father was chased out for loving who he loved. But love isn't a threat, hate is. Diego and I watched from the back, hearts pounding. Then, a twist. An anonymous tip revealed Harlan's own secrets, embezzlement from city funds. Gabriel had investigated quietly, with help from allies. Harlan was arrested, his empire crumbling. The town, shocked, rallied behind Gabriel. In the aftermath, we found peace. Diego and I decided to stay, opening a small cafe downtown. Gabriel's wedding to his partner, Alex, a kind teacher, sealed the healing. As I walked him down the aisle, tears flowed. I'm proud of you, son. Elmwood transformed, a beacon of acceptance. Our story, once a scandal, became legend, a testament to resilience, love, and humanity's capacity for change. The weeks following the election were a whirlwind of emotions, blending joy with the sharp edges of unresolved pain. Gabriel's inauguration was set for a crisp January morning, the town hall draped in banners that read, "A New Era for Elmwood." Diego and I stood in the front row, our hands intertwined, as Gabriel took the oath. His voice, steady and resonant, promised progress. We will build bridges, not walls, ensuring every citizen, regardless of who they love, feels at home here. The crowd erupted in applause, but I caught glares from a cluster of older residents, remnants of the old guard who had driven me out 2 decades ago. That night, we celebrated at Gabriel's modest home on Oak Street, the same neighborhood where I once lived. The living room overflowed with supporters, young activists, local business owners, and even a few former skeptics won over by Gabriel's charisma. Diego manned the grill in the backyard, flipping burgers with his signature flair, while I chatted with Alex, Gabriel's fiancée. He's talked about you non-stop since we met, Alex said, his blue eyes sparkling. Your strength inspired him to come out. Gabriel pulled me aside to the porch, the winter air biting but invigorating. Dad, there's something I need to tell you. About why I came back. He hesitated, staring at the stars. After high school, I went to college in Columbus. I was angry at you for leaving, at the town for taking you away. I partied too hard, dated recklessly, trying to fill the void. His voice cracked. Then I met Alex. He helped me see that running from the past wouldn't heal it. I decided to return and change Elmwood from within. I hugged him, the years melting away. I'm sorry I couldn't fight harder, but Gabriel shook his head. You did what you could. Now, we're rewriting the story. Life settled into a rhythm. Diego and I rented a small apartment downtown, and I started volunteering at the community center Gabriel was revitalizing. It was there I reconnected with old faces, some apologetic, others avoidant. Mrs. Wilkins, the neighbor who first spread the rumors, approached me one day. Mark, I was wrong. Fear made me cruel. Her apology was tentative, but sincere. Forgiveness came slowly, like thawing ice. Yet, shadows lingered. Harlan Tate's arrest didn't end the resistance. His son, Junior, took up the mantle, organizing protests outside City Hall. No queer agenda in our town, their signs read. One evening, as Diego and I walked home from dinner, a group of young men, emboldened by online vitriol, confronted us. Go back to Chicago. Fags! One shouted, shoving Diego against a wall. My blood boiled. I stepped forward, but Diego held me back. Not worth it. Mi amor. We reported it to the police. But the chief, an old friend of Harlan's, dragged his feet. Gabriel intervened, pushing for hate crime charges. This stops now, he declared at a press conference. The incident galvanized support. A vigil drew hundreds, candles flickering in solidarity. Diego and I spoke, sharing our story. Love isn't a choice, but hate is, I said, voice trembling. Amid the turmoil, romance bloomed anew. Diego and I, after years of stability, rediscovered passion. Long walks along the river, where we'd sneak kisses like teenagers. We've come full circle, he murmured one night, as we lay in bed. Gabriel and Alex's relationship mirrored ours. Deep, resilient. They planned a spring wedding, inviting the whole town as a statement of unity. But betrayal struck from an unexpected quarter. One rainy afternoon, Gabriel received a package. Old photos of me and Diego from 2005. Intimate moments captured secretly. Attached was a note. Drop the reforms, or these go public again. The sender, Sarah, my ex-wife, resurfacing after years of silence. She'd returned to Elmwood, bitter and broke, aligning with Junior Tate for revenge. Gabriel was devastated. Mom? How could she? We confronted her at a dingy motel on the highway. Sarah, aged beyond her years, sneered. You abandoned us, Mark. Gabriel's success is mine to claim or destroy. Her words cut deep, revealing a web of resentment. She'd fed lies to Gabriel's grandparents, pocketed child support I'd sent. Diego's calm presence grounded us. Family isn't blood, it's choice. Gabriel, torn, chose truth. He went public, turning the scandal into a platform. My mother's actions don't define me, nor do my father's past ones. We're all flawed, but we can choose better. The fallout was swift. Sarah left town, disgraced. Junior's protests fizzled as evidence of his involvement surfaced. Elmwood, weary of division, embraced change. Gabriel's first act as mayor, establishing an LGBTQ+ resource center, named after Diego and me, Rivera Haven. As spring arrived, buds blooming like hope, we prepared for the wedding. Diego and I renewed our vows in a quiet ceremony beforehand, Gabriel officiating. You two showed me what love endures, he said. The big day dawned sunny. The church, once a bastion of judgment, overflowed with guests. Walking Gabriel down the aisle, arm in arm with Diego, I felt whole. Vows exchanged, rings slipped on, and cheers rang out. In the reception, toasts flowed. Gabriel raised his glass. To second chances, to love in all forms. Diego pulled me onto the dance floor, our bodies swaying to a slow ballad. We've won, Mark, but life, ever unpredictable, held one more twist. My father, bedridden, requested a visit. In the nursing home, his frail hand grasped mine. I was wrong, son. Forgive an old fool. Tears mingled as I nodded. Reconciliation, late but genuine. Elmwood thrived under Gabriel's leadership. Businesses boomed. Festivals celebrated diversity. Our cafe became a hub. Stories shared over coffee. Diego and I, in our 50s, found peace in the everyday. Gardening, traveling, mentoring youth. Looking back, The pain forged us. From exile to embrace, our journey proved humanity's arc bends toward justice, when love leads the way. With the wedding behind us, Elmwood entered a golden phase. Gabriel's policies took root. Affordable housing initiatives drew young families. Green spaces revitalized neglected parks. And the LGBTQ+ Center offered counseling, events, and legal aid. Diego and I volunteered there weekly, sharing experiences with teens grappling with identity. "You're not alone," I'd say, echoing words I wished I'd heard. But peace was fragile. Summer brought a national spotlight when a conservative media outlet targeted Gabriel. "Gay mayor's agenda corrupting Heartland Town," the headline blared. Reporters swarmed, digging into our past. Old wounds reopened as interviews twisted facts. One evening, a van parked outside our apartment, cameras flashing. Diego drew the curtains. "Ignore them, Mark. They're vultures." Gabriel handled it with grace, granting select interviews. "My family's story is one of triumph over adversity," he told CNN. Support poured in donations, letters from across America. But locally, a faction revived opposition, petitioning for a recall election. Leading them, Pastor Ellis, whose church had condemned me years ago. The conflict escalated at a town hall meeting. Pastor Ellis thundered from the podium, "This mayor honors sin. We must reclaim our values." Boos mixed with amens. Gabriel responded calmly, "Values include compassion, equality. My father taught me that by enduring what he did." Diego and I sat in the audience, tension knotting my stomach. Afterward, Gabriel confided, "It's wearing on me, that Alex wants us to move away." We advised perseverance. "You've started something beautiful," Diego said. "Don't let them win." Personal strains emerged. Alex, a high school teacher, faced backlash, parents pulling kids from his classes. "I love Gabriel, but this town's poison," he admitted over dinner. Gabriel looked torn, the weight of leadership etching lines on his young face. In this turmoil, our bond deepened. Weekend getaways to Lake Erie provided respite, picnics, swimming, laughter. Diego and Gabriel bonded over soccer, their competitive spirits clashing joyfully. "Like father, like son," I tease. Then, a deeper betrayal unfolded. Investigating the media leaks, Gabriel discovered an insider, his deputy mayor, Carla Jennings, a supposed ally. She'd fed info to the press for a promised state Senate seat. "Why, Carla?" Gabriel confronted her. "Power," she sneered. "Your idealism is naive." The scandal rocked City Hall. Carla resigned amid uproar, but damage was done. Polls showed the recall gaining traction. Gabriel doubted himself. "Maybe I'm not cut out for this." Diego and I rallied him. "Remember why you ran," I urged. We organized a counter-campaign, door-to-door talks, community events. At a pride parade, Elmwood's first thousands marched, rainbow flags waving. Diego and I led a float, Gabriel at our side. High drama peaked during the recall vote. Election night, nerves frayed, we gathered at headquarters. As results trickled in, it was neck and neck. Midnight brought victory. Gabriel retained his seat by a slim margin. Cheers erupted. Hugs abounded. In the quiet after, Gabriel thanked us. "Couldn't have done it without you." Alex, relieved, proposed expanding their family, adoption, perhaps. Fall brought reflection. My father's passing was gentle. At his funeral, Gabriel spoke eulogies of forgiveness. He learned late, but he learned. Our cafe flourished, a symbol of renewal. Diego's health scare, a minor heart issue, reminded us of time's preciousness. More adventures, he vowed post-recovery. As the year closed, Gabriel announced re-election plans, stronger than ever. For Elmwood's future and ours, our story, once fractured, wove into a tapestry of love, proving that from ashes, beauty rises. The second year of Gabriel's term tested resolve like never before. With the recall behind us, focus shifted to ambitious projects. A new community hospital wing, funded by grants Gabriel secured through tireless lobbying in Washington. Healthcare for all, no exceptions, he proclaimed at the groundbreaking. Diego and I attended, shovels in hand, symbolizing fresh starts. But undercurrents of discord persisted. A national anti-LGBTQ bill gained traction, emboldening local extremists. Vandalism hit the resource center, windows smashed, slurs spray-painted. Not again, I muttered, cleaning up with volunteers. Diego's fury boiled. These cowards hide in shadows. Gabriel responded with defiance, hosting a fundraiser gala. The event, at the historic ballroom, drew celebrities and donors. Dressed in tuxes, Diego and I danced under chandeliers, our love on display. Gabriel and Alex shone, toasting progress. Romance intertwined with drama. Diego surprised me with a weekend in New York. Broadway shows, Central Park strolls. Remember our first trip? He asked, kissing me atop the Empire State. Back home, Gabriel and Alex navigated adoption hurdles, their dream of parenthood fueling determination. Conflict crested when an old flame of mine resurfaced. Tom, my college crush, now a lawyer in Cleveland, contacted me via social media. Heard about your son's success. Proud of you, Mark. Innocent chats turned flirtatious, stirring dormant insecurities. Diego noticed my distraction. What's going on? He confronted. I confessed, ashamed. It's nothing, just nostalgia. But Diego's hurt ran deep. After all we've built? A heated argument ensued, words like daggers. Maybe I was always second choice, he shouted. The rift widened. Diego moved to Gabriel's guest room temporarily. I wallowed in regret, realizing Tom's messages were an escape from aging fears. Gabriel mediated. Love requires work. That. Fight for it. Reconciliation came during a storm, literal and metaphorical. Thunder raged as I drove to Gabriel's, finding Diego on the porch. I'm sorry, I pleaded. He pulled me close. Me too. We're in this forever. Strengthened, we faced the next blow. A lawsuit against the city, claiming Gabriel's policies violated traditional values. Backed by a national group, it dragged on, draining resources. Court dates in Columbus became routine, testimonies raw. In the courtroom, I spoke. Exile taught me resilience. Don't let hate prevail. Gabriel's closing argument moved the judge. Equality isn't optional. It's American. Victory came, the suit dismissed. Celebrations followed, but exhaustion showed. Gabriel confided burnout. I need a break. We encouraged balance. Winter holidays brought joy. Family gatherings, Diego's tamales, games, laughter. Gabriel and Alex announced adoption approval, a baby girl due soon. As spring neared, a personal high, I published a memoir, Chased Out, A Father's Journey. It hit bestseller lists, interviews nationwide. Your story matters, Oprah said in a virtual chat. Elmwood evolved. Tourism boomed from our inclusive haven rep. Our cafe expanded, employing at-risk youth. Yet, life's impermanence struck. Diego's heart issue recurred, requiring surgery. Waiting room hours were agony. Gabriel held my hand. He's strong, Dad. Post-op, Diego recovered, vowing healthier living. More time with our granddaughter. The adoption finalized. Little Maria arrived, chubby cheeks and Gabriel's eyes. Holding her, tears flowed. Full circle, I whispered. Gabriel's leadership inspired. He eyed higher office. Governor, maybe, Alex teased. Our bonds, forged in fire, endured, a testament to love's power. Maria's arrival infused our lives with boundless energy. At 6 months, her giggles echoed through Gabriel's home, where we babysat often. She's got your spirit, Diego told Gabriel, bouncing her on his knee. Alex, on paternity leave, juggled diapers and lesson plans, his love evident. Elmwood's transformation continued. Gabriel's third year brought economic booms. Tech startups relocated, drawn by incentives and diversity. We're the new Silicon Midwest, he joked at a ribbon cutting. But success bred envy. Rivals in neighboring towns spread rumors, questioning funds. A major crisis loomed. A factory closure threatened jobs. Gabriel negotiated relentlessly, securing a buyout by a green energy firm. Jobs saved. Planet 2, he announced. Cheers rang, but behind scenes, stress mounted. Personal depths plunged when Alex faced a health scare, early cancer detection. It's treatable, he assured, but treatments were grueling. Gabriel balanced mayoral duties with caregiving, exhaustion evident. Diego and I stepped in, cooking, cleaning, offering shoulders. Through it, their love shone. You're my rock, Alex told Gabriel during chemo. We admired their resilience, mirroring ours. Betrayal's final sting came from within. A council member, bribed by developers, leaked plans for a controversial highway project. Scandal erupted, headlines screaming corruption. Gabriel, innocent, faced investigation. Set up, he fumed. We dug deep, uncovering ties to Harlan Tate's old network. Evidence presented, the culprit arrested. Gabriel cleared, but trust shattered. In the aftermath, he reflected, politics is brutal. Worth it, we affirmed. You've changed lives. Summer brought healing. A family vacation to California. Beaches. Disney. Reconnection. Maria's first steps on sand. Captured forever. Back home, Gabriel announced, one more term, then family first. Applause thundered. Our story culminated in a town festival honoring founders of change. Us. On stage, Gabriel spoke. My fathers showed me courage. From exile to mayor, we've proven love conquers. Diego and I, hand in hand, accepted plaques. This is for every outcast, I said. Years later, as grandparents, we watched Maria grow, Gabriel thriving in state politics. Elmwood, once a prison, became paradise. In quiet moments, Diego and I strolled, reflecting. We did good. Mi amor, our tale, kicked out for love. Sun returns triumphant, embodied humanity. Flawed, redemptive, eternal.